What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to ICNV Drivers Edition. Today, I'm going to get into a topic. Well, let me just say this. I tell everybody, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, because the ICNV Drivers Edition community is an interactive community, and today we're going to touch bases on one of those interactions. For many of you that don't know, my most watched video is actually the 5 things I hate about my S550 Coupe. And to this day, I still get anywhere from 35 to 100 views a week on this video that was made well over 2 years ago. And I'll still get questions weekly, well, let's just say every 10 to 17 days about something dealing with the S550 Coupe. Well, an interesting topic came up. Actually, 3 interesting topics came up, and I have videos coming your way after this one. But today I want to talk about my 3-year ownership cost of the S550 Coupe, because I was asked how bad is the maintenance cost and how much do I have to pay to get my car serviced while in my possession. So today, let's get into the actual ownership cost or the maintenance cost of an S550 Coupe. Let's go. Now, for those of you that don't know, I did own an S550 Coupe, a 2016 Mercedes S550 Coupe, and I actually bought it 2 years old. So when I got my hands on the car, it was still up under some factory warranty. But the car never broke down in my possession. So actually, through my 3 years of ownership, what I actually had to do was actually just pay for the suggested maintenance or the preventive maintenance that they recommended for the car. And there's this big crazy stigma or belief system, or should I say misrepresentation, of that owning a Mercedes is actually a tremendous cost. And one thing I always say to people is that's where you come in wrong. I love luxury cars, and yes, in most cases, certain aspects of getting them fixed is a lot higher than owning, say, something like a Malibu, a Cavalier, a Sentra, Sonata, things of those natures. So I'm not going to sit there and tell you every cost is the same. But what I want you to understand is that sometimes you may be running from a maintenance cost that really isn't a factor or a problem. And let's get into that today. So the question has been asked, how much did it cost you to own your Mercedes over 3 years? And I'm going to be honest with you. Over the course of 3 years, I had to give my car 3 oil changes. The oil change cost alone was usually anywhere between $178 to about $215. I've explained this before in several other videos. A lot of times it has something to do with the location that you take it to, because there are different taxes and so forth, things that are applied. I've taken my Mercedes to 2 different dealerships primarily for the life of my ownership, and one dealership usually charged me about $178 for oil change, and the other one charged me $199. I really didn't complain about the $20, just to be real with you, because I got a lot of other services with that as well. For instance, when they came and picked up my Mercedes, and yes, I did say when they came and picked up my Mercedes from the house, they brought me a loaner car while they performed the oil change and the suggested preventive maintenance for the car. So they brought me a loaner car to drive, and then I just took that car back, which technically I did not. I was supposed to take that car back to the dealership to get my car back in return. But what actually happened is they brought my car back and picked up the loaner car when they took it back. So to me, that perk or that benefit was worth it alone. I've never had that type of service owning a Chevy, not even my Corvette. So having the loaner car option, to me, is worth any difference I might have paid in price. You may not feel that way. It may not be a big enough benefit to you, but it was to me. To carry on about this, think about it this way. My Mercedes S550 Coupe was suggested for 1 oil change a year or every 10 to 12,000 miles. Most people on average drive their car 10 to 15,000 miles. 12,000 is considered an average. That's why your warranties are usually based off 3 years, 36,000 miles, 12,000 miles a year. I never drove my S550 Coupe realistically more than 7,000 miles a year. But even if I did make it to the 12,000 mile mark, which is everything was benchmarked off on with my purchases, but I never really make it there with any of my vehicles. If you look at it from that point of view, in theory, on a normal car, say a Chevy Malibu, you're expected to get 3 to 4 oil changes a year. Technically, they say 1 every quarter. If you break that down, 1 every 3,000 miles. They say 3 to 5,000 miles. That's once every quarter. And there you go. And those oil changes are typically somewhere between 35 to 40 bucks. You can catch them at Jiffy Lube with a $19.99 special on occasions. And I'm not going to knock you if you do that, because everybody has options in the budget they're trying to stay in. But if you go to the basic price of an oil change, and let's be real. So if we're looking at the $29.99 to $39.99, let's just go with the $39.99, which is quite common unless you have a coupon to get a discount. And I will tell you this, Mercedes offers those discounts as well. I just never tracked down or maintained a coupon to actually get it done. But at $39.99, let's just round up to say $40 plus tax. If you multiply that 4 times a year, you're looking at $160 plus tax, which let's just say roughly is another $16 to $22. So we're going to just say, for a nice solid figure, let's just say $180 a year. The oil change costs are very similar, if not honestly quite the same. So when you look at it from that point of view, you may pay it all up front or in one sitting, but you're not paying any extra for an oil change. When you go to the dealership and you look at the preventive maintenance packages that they offer you, most people decline the service. So this is part of the reason why the maintenance cost comes up, because most higher end luxury car brands or people that purchase Mercedes, they rarely decline the maintenance, even if it's the same purchaser that bought a Malibu, because their belief system about the cars are different, because they put the Mercedes on a higher pedestal. So they have a tendency to pay for the maintenance. So when you look at those costs, Mercedes has basic maintenance plans. They have an A, B. The A maintenance cost is about $300. And that usually includes an oil change, checking to a couple items, topping off fluids, think new windshield wipers and things of that nature. And that's about $300. The B plan is about $500. You do that every other year, but they just check and maintain a couple different things, fluids and so forth. They check air conditioning hoses. It's a few different other items. Let's take a quick break and do me a favor. Go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Help me reach my goal of 25 before 25, which is 2,500 subscribers before the year 2025. We're chasing the movement. Be part of it. Join the channel, especially if you like the content you've seen so far. We have more stuff like this coming your way, and you too can help guide the focus of the content that comes your way. So subscribe to the channel, hit that like button. Yes, some things like maybe brakes and so forth on an AMG version will get costly. I did repair brakes on my car, but there are cheaper ways to go around it. I didn't have that work done at the dealership, although they suggested the brakes would be $750. I chose to go another route and was able to pay just over $300 to have my brakes serviced with new rotors and new pads. So again, there are many ways to keep the maintenance costs down on any vehicle, especially a luxury vehicle like the S550 Coupe. So when you look at all these costs, my S550 Coupe ownership costs or maintenance costs for 4 years was $1,200. In essence, I've spent $1,500 for ownership over my course of time, and I'll tell you why. When my car was a little over 4 years old from the actual purchase date, the AC system went out. And it didn't really go out, it just needed to be serviced. So in order to get it serviced, because the repair costs would have been up under the warranty program I had, but they had to verify that it needed to be serviced or repaired. So they serviced the AC unit, and then they also put in it a dye system to verify there were no leaks, or to track down the leak for any repairs that needed to be done. That whole cost me $312. I paid that, drove the car as suggested, brought the car back, and voila, there was no leaks. So in essence, the car just needed to be serviced. But for that prevention system, I paid $312. I didn't complain. My car worked perfectly fine. The AC unit worked until I got rid of the car. So overall, my maintenance cost for the car and ownership of my Mercedes S550 Coupe was under $1,500. So my question to you, is that really too much to own a Mercedes? You let me know what you think. Do you feel like that was too much? I'm telling you, I don't think it was. $1,500 for 3 years worth of ownership. Do you feel like that was too much paid? Do you feel like you should have got away with more? In essence, if I wouldn't have had a leak in my AC unit, it would have been $1,200. Do you think $1,200 is unreasonable? Do you believe that you have now realized that there is a myth or a misconception on how much it actually costs to own a Mercedes Benz? I will say one thing to you is the S550 Coupe is definitely the standard for premium luxury. So when it comes to this car, you want to do the maintenance. And so I did all the maintenance that was required or was suggested, because I felt like I had the top of line prestige car, and it's a rare car. Many people don't actually believe that or understand that the S550 Coupe isn't a car that you see daily. And although I no longer own it, you rarely see them rolling around the streets. I may see realistically one a week, 4 to 5 different cars a year. The most I've seen in 1 year was 10. And we're talking about a car that's no longer produced. They decide to discontinue it. And we'll talk about that in another video. But that's what happened. So let me know if you feel like this video was informative or helped you out make some decisions going forward if with your purchasing or decision to own an S550 Coupe, because I would tell you right now, without any hesitation, I will buy another one, and I'm not afraid of the maintenance costs. But hopefully I addressed the questions and the concerns that you had, and I was able to answer any questions that you may have. If not, hit me up in the comments below or on one of my social media sites. But either way, ICNV Driver's Edition. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, join the ICNV Driver's Edition community. Like I said before, this is an interactive community. So if you have any questions or concerns, hit me up. I'll try to get back to them. And if it's something that I really feel like we need to get more in depth on, like this topic here, I will make a video. Until the next upload, stay safe, stay blessed, and I will see you in these streets. Peace.